Are you ready? So, to look a bit gayish. So one day I was wearing a crop top with no bra under it, and the wind just was like, hey, let's show your titties to the world. And I was like, hell no. And I had to just like hold my shirt down. And that was the day I got a cold. So that was kind of nice, because why not? To catch a cold in the summer, so iconic of me. But anyways, let's get to the topic about past lives. Lego. Okay, so first of all, do y'all believe in past lives? Let me know in the comments, because I feel like this topic is kind of like a taboo, you could say, because a lot of people are like, oh my god, you're totally like mental, like what past lives, I only have one. But girl, I'm okay, and I have 9, okay? But personally, I do believe in past lives, and it's not just because someone else pushed that concept on me, but it's a concept that I heard of, and then I started like looking at my own life and realizing how a lot of things made sense to me. But like most things, you could call it like proof or whatever, happened to me when I was a kid. Okay, let me tell you the story first. So, I believe that I've had multiple lives, not only one past life. But let me tell you about the past life was, I was definitely a man. I was definitely Italian. And I had dark hair, brown eyes. I was really tall, really handsome. I was very powerful, very feared, but I was very successful, very rich. I was working in like a military corporation or military something. I was like in some secret organization, like spy kind of vibes. I was like on top of the chain, you could say. I was very well known, well respected, and not well known like as in famous, but well known in this field. And I could get anything that I wanted. I could buy anything that I wanted. I was that rich. I could basically get any woman that I wanted. That brings me to a more personal life, who I thought I was. Since I was very attractive, very rich, very intelligent, I had everything. My ego was so huge. I sort of kind of believe that I was the opposite, what I am in this life now. In the past life as a man, I think that I was very conceited. I was definitely narcissistic. I was a player, okay? I slept with a lot of women. It was so easy for me to just get everything that I wanted, but it just didn't come from the heart. It came from a lot of manipulation. I was a great wordsmith. I could just talk every situation into my favor, and I was very insincere. I was an asshole, and I feel like my life ended with everything collapsing, including my finances, my relationships, because one day I met a girl, and the first time in my life I started caring about someone besides myself, and I fell in love with her. And I like every bad thing I ever did to other women started haunting me and started coming back to me in my sleep, or just I started having a conscience and a guilty conscience, where I just realized that I'm not worthy of the woman that I love because I am a really shitty person and she deserves better. So she changed me. But I don't know what happened with her. But probably what I think what happened was that I sabotaged our relationship because I knew that I wasn't worthy of her, that I would end up hurting her. I sabotaged it to save her, to let her go, because I knew that I loved her that much, that selflessly, that I felt like I had to let her go so she could find someone she deserves. That broke me because I've never felt so vulnerable and selfless before, and that just crushed me. I didn't know what love can do to me. And all my life, I realized that all my life was built up on lies, and all my finances, my money was built up on lies and darkness, and you could say unholy things. And I didn't want this anymore. And I think that I had suicidal thoughts, but I think that I didn't die because I killed myself. I wanted to, but I think that I died because I had some enemies who found out my location or something. I feel like I was betrayed by my own coworkers, who I considered my friends. We were supposed to have like a secret operation, and it was just a trap to get rid of me. And then they lured me into this place and killed me. But I had like this paper or something that I had written for this woman to say goodbye to her, something like that. In this letter, I told her how I feel about her, I was very vulnerable with her, but I also had the feeling that I will die, that I will get killed. I could feel it coming, so I had written her a letter, but she never got it. But after I died, she read it and she cried, and then at the end of my life, when I was dying, I just realized that it was true love. And when I died, I was crying from happiness, because the first time in my life I was able to be selfless, to experience love so pure that I had put my own ego, my pride aside. I was so grateful that I was so lucky to experience true love, and I loved her so much that I let her go. And the first time in my life I had done something right, something so pure, not selfish, that I felt like I was at peace when I died. I wasn't even mad at them. I felt like it was a nice way to wrapping the story up, because I knew that I had to die to actually let her go. I also believe that I lived in America, so I was like Italian American, and I spoke a lot of languages. My IQ was very high. I went to a lot of Hollywood parties, dark parties, saw the worst side of Hollywood. So I liked whiskey. Also, I drove a vintage Chevy, and I think that it's because I really like Chevys and vintage cars in this life. So now to the reasons why I believe this happened. There are a lot, and maybe I don't even remember all of them, but I'm gonna talk about as many things as I remember. So first thing, I've met so many fuckboys in my life, and I've been like, oh my god, you're a total fuckboy. And why I always knew that they were fuckboys, not just because of my intuition, but I was like, oh my god, like I was the exact same in my past life. Like the shit you're talking to me, this slick talk, I was that person. Like you cannot tell me anything that I haven't already made up or like heard. So in a way, it sounds so fucked up, but they felt so familiar because with all those fuckboys, I had really we had like a friendship connection as well. So to me, they reminded me of my friends. So I never wanted to fuck them. I just enjoyed this toxic friendship, this familiarity that reminded me of something safe that I already knew, that I already like understood. So to me, like fuckboys, if they tried to smooth talk me, it was rather, to me, it was funny. I liked friend zoning fuckboys. That was just, I don't know, a fucked up thing, but I really like enjoyed it because they wanted to fuck me, but I just wanted to just enjoy the fucking shadows of my old friends. That sounds so fucked up. Next thing, when I was a kid, I remember thinking, like, I was maybe like 3 years old. I remember thinking, like, oh my god, why was I born woman? It's so hard being a woman in this world. And I've always thought about this, like, how did I know that? The next thing is when I was a kid, I was playing that I'm a soldier, and I was like playing, like walking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I liked playing that I'm a soldier. I also used like little tweaks as guns. I was playing with other boys as a kid, and I was like a little boy as a kid, really, basically. Next thing is that I miss having a butler, a maid, a personal chef. And I don't miss it like you miss something that you never had. I miss it like I had it yesterday. I miss having a lot of money. Like, it's not the things that you crave that you haven't had a taste of. It feels like I had it all, and now I have to build everything from zero in this life again. It's so frustrating. And I want it back. It's not like I want it for the first time. It's like I want this lifestyle back because I remember the taste of freedom. Next thing are phrases that have come to me and I'm like, it does not go into this life. For example, I remember being young and thinking like someone was mean to me, and I was like, yeah, be mean to me, but wait until you read about me from the newspaper. And the newspaper was not a thing. Like, the newspaper is not a thing. Like, okay, still there are people who read newspapers, but the most of the world's news comes from other sources. But it was like off the era. So the next phrase that I've had is in my head, or like has come to me, is the goal is to throw a dart onto a map and travel wherever the dart lands on. Is also something that came to me, but it's like, wait a minute, like people don't have maps on their walls anymore. Like, maybe they do, but it's rare. It's not a thing, you know? It's like if you want, like, see a map, you Google it, right? So it's still like an obsolete concept in this century. And the next thing is, I said I believed I was Italian/American. It's because I really like Italian. I really like Italian language. I really want to go to Italy. I like Italian food. I like so many things that are Italian. And I feel like it's a little bit familiar. It's so weird. I've never been to Italy. I even have like the giornate trecce. A lot of people ask me, are you Italian? I'm not Italian. And the next thing is about a fear that if I get too successful, I'm going to be killed. And this might happen, of course, but I mean, it was a fear. It was like a paralyzing fear of being killed by the people I trusted, but shouldn't. You know what I mean? But I don't have this fear anymore. So if you want to kill me one day, then I'll forgive you. Maybe it was supposed to be that way, but at least I don't fear that anymore. Next thing is very graphic TMI, but I am like, I know how to turn a guy on based on what I would like to have done to me as a guy. It's like, how do you know that? Like, it's just, okay, maybe it is a natural thing, but to me it's like, I know exactly how it feels. Or like, also maybe it's just related to something else, but it's just like, I can even turn a guy on like by talking about something very sexually that is not sexual, and I know exactly where his mind goes, and I want it to go there, if you know what I mean. Or it's just like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's just like what worked on me, what turned me on as a man is how I can turn on a man now. It's just like, it's so fucking weird, but I don't know, I just feel like it is something else than just being a skilled seducer. The next thing is, I feel like sometimes I know things I shouldn't know, or I've had experiences that I've never had in this life, or I know how it feels to be killed, or I just know how it feels to kill someone. Just like very graphic shit. Like that goes along with the being in the military, secret operation type things. I forgot to mention a couple of things. That my mindset is like soldier's mindset. Like, there's no tomorrow promised to anyone. Like, I might die tomorrow, and I'm fine with that. Or like, people in my life could also die tomorrow. So I know that it's important to cherish every moment with the people you love and care about, because and the next one is that I've never taken lessons on self-defense or watched tutorials or anything, but I have a muscle memory. How can you explain this? I have a muscle memory of self-defense, like how to defend myself. Like, I have actually like been on the street, and there have been like situations where I feel like, okay, what would I do if that person would come? And I actually have like a plan in my head, like professional knowledge on self-defense. Like, how to explain that? It's actually quite interesting scientifically, because in my head I measure that person in my mind's eye. I look at that person's length and their weight, and my mind calculates the moves. This process happens within seconds. Then my mind calculates the sobriety. For example, if a person is drunk, then my mind knows that their strength and speed is not like a sober person's would be. What else? My brain calculates their intelligence. For example, a person's eyes can hint you the level of their aggressiveness. Their face can show you whether they know what they're doing or not, how confident they are, or they're just trying to wing it, and what intentions they have.
A person's face and eyes can sometimes give you a lot of hints of what's going on in that person's mind and what to expect from them. And I use my instincts and I use my intuition, something that I use a lot on the streets, alone in the darkness. For example, like, let's say there's a rapist in the bushes, then I'm 10 steps ahead of him. I already know that, you know? And also, I have a very interesting brain that it not just only scans the people's height and their strength or whatever, it also scans when people are around me. For example, if I'm walking on the street, listening to music with my headphones in, and I don't look behind my back, then I already know that someone is behind my back, and I know their intentions as well. It's just like, it's a weird but very interesting and very useful inner mechanism that works within seconds. And I feel like if I had to protect myself, I would take a person twice my size. And also, I know how to get free from a person if they hold my both hands behind my back. I know what to do in situations like instinctively, or like it's like in the muscle memory. It's just like, how do you know those things? I've never taken any lessons or like watched any tutorials. It's like I just feel safe on the streets because I have this weird knowledge on self-defense that is based on logic, instinct, intuition, and like these inner calculations. And also, you can just put it onto intelligence, or maybe you could just say that it's a skill I learned in my past life. And I also know when people are watching my ass from behind when I don't see them. That's interesting too. And one more interesting fact about that is I know exactly how my voice carries. For example, I know exactly how quietly I have to speak so another person wouldn't hear me, or I know exactly how to, for example, when I was a kid, I knew exactly how to sneak out so they wouldn't hear me. Like, it was like, also you can say that I'm just smart, but to me it's just like something else. Like, I was calculating my moves on the surfaces. For example, if I knew that like the stairs were creaky a little bit on the left side, I was stepping on the right side. And my mother was always a light sleeper, so I know exactly what to do so she wouldn't hear me. So I calculate even the sound. It didn't have to be like a familiar place. It could have been like a totally, completely new place to me, and I would have done the same. And also, same goes with speed. So I could calculate the speed of a person running after me, or a speed of a car, etc., etc. Another thing, for example, if I'm going out for a walk, I know I'm always wearing some colors that you cannot see from afar, or you cannot see in the woods or in the park. It's just like I've always worn camouflage. It's also like in like people in the army wear camouflage. Like, how do I know that to wear camouflage? Like, it just came to me. I wasn't even aware of that I was choosing colors to fit in the environment, until like one day I was like, oh my god, I do that. Like, that is so smart. But I wasn't aware when I started doing that. And like I said, I believe that I was working in I was doing a lot of secret military operations, and I feel like I know how to be a spy in this life. It's so weird. I have like spy skills. Like, I know how to be really quiet. I know how it feels if you have this thing in your ear and you talk to other people. I know how it feels. Never experienced in this life. Another thing is that I've had skills in psychology since I was a little kid. I've always been fond of acting, so if I have ever needed to rescue myself as a kid, acting and psychological skills always came handy to me throughout my life. Oh, I miss, what is it called? Is it the shooting range where you can just shoot and there's like targets, what? And you have to shoot them. And I know how it feels to shoot targets, how it feels to shoot cans. Like one day I was just watching this movie and they were shooting cans, and I was like, the first thing I was like, oh my god, I missed that. And then I was like, oh my god, I've never done it in this life. Like, I've never been in the shooting range, or never shot cans, never shot a gun. And I was like missing this fun. Like, this is, I truly believe that this is a memory from that past life where I was just chilling with my buddies, like drinking beer and just shooting cans for fun. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and you can leave me a comment below. Do you believe in past lives? Also, if you do, feel free to share your story. But anyways, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Okay, bye.